All right, Alyssa Gabrielle, an almost 21-year-old poet from North Augusta, South Carolina. Alyssa, who got her start performing at the Art of Words during our first months in 2024. That's a fact that I didn't really realize until recently. That is wonderful, because she has hit the ground running. I've seen her all over the place and poeting everywhere. All right, she frequently presents her poems for the Art of Words open mic. She has one self-published collection, Lacerated, Chaotic Mind. That's interesting title.
It looks like this.
And yes, she does have copies of her books available for sale. Please support the poet, support the poet. And there's also a raffle. If anyone hadn't signed up for the raffle, when are we going to do the raffle, Kathy? At the end, probably? Or I would say, okay, at the end. Okay. All right, so, All right, so she has been, where we at? Okay, her newest book, 20 and 24, will come out later this year. Where are we at? She has been published in various collections and journals, and she also runs a creative website, Campbell's Curiosities. Make sure y'all check that out as well. All right, in recent years, Alyssa has begun working on readings, videography, and script writing, including an audio drama production for Lander University. Yes, she has been writing. Yes, indeed. She has been writing about anything and everything she can remember, using it as a way to express her emotions. So I want everyone to show a warm welcome. Give all the applause, all the love for Alyssa.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Gabrielle, and I guess I'll just jump right in and get started. I'm going to start with Lacerated Chaotic Mind, which is the title piece of that collection. So, this is Lacerated Chaotic Mind. Hold my hand, I'll guide you through. I know all this could be a lot for you. This is all a mess, it's all scattered. What you will see is the result of a life tattered. This isn't a pretty scene. If you leave now, it's fine. I know there can be a lot in this mind of mine. So buckle in, watch your step. Welcome to the ramblings of the Lacerated Chaotic Mind. That's my name is Alyssa Gabrielle. That was the title piece of my debut book that came out last year. We kind of used that as a launch point for the theme, like Bailey said. And because at the end of the day, I wrote it like that, and I read that, and I've held on to that, because I just kind of write any and everything I can think of. And on that note, this next piece is kind of about that, and it's to write. Every single thing I see triggers a thought. Some of them are dark, reminding me of that place, that time, that moment. Some of them are romantic, reminding me of that date, that kiss, that boy. Some of them are beautiful, showing me that color's vibrancies, that smell's sweetness, that dish's depths. But they all take hold of me. They all control me. The need to write it all, capture it all, record it all. It's all I can think about. It's a gift, it's a talent, but I'm cursed. Cursed with the need to write, cursed with the need to capture, cursed with the need to record. There's never any peace. How can I turn that into a story? How can I turn this into a poem? What could secrets could this object hold? What could this object have seen in its lifetime? The thoughts never stop. It never stops. How can I communicate this that happened to me? How can I tell this story in an interesting way? What can I pull from even deeper to make it more relatable? How can I dress this hurtful thing up in beautiful clothes to make it more desirable? I muse into the late hours of the night. All the emotions pour from my heart. All the thoughts rush from behind the gate. All the feelings empty onto the page. I'm left hollow. In my mind lies a memory garden. Everyone has one, filled with good and bad alike. I, however, can never close that gate and spend time away like everyone else. I spend all my time wandering the garden, revisiting and evaluating my life and traumas. I pick memories like flowers to copy. I deliver trauma bouquets on the curse's schedule. I try to eat. What about this piece? I try to sleep. What about this project? I try to talk to someone. What if I change this? Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say? It's a gift. Use it. Yes, but it's also a curse. So because the journal holds my everything, I'm going to go on a 20-year journey in 10 to 20 minutes. So I've been writing poems, stories, scripts before I even knew my alphabet. I would use shape and doodle language, and then I'd get mad at everybody because they couldn't read it because it was the language I had made up. So my first piece, like poetry-wise, was about dessert, but we're not going to talk about that one. I was way too young to be reading that at an open mic now. So the first one I'll kind of admit to writing and let there be video of me reading, is a kind of deep piece from 7th grade, so it's going to get a little sad for a second. For reference, my hair is naturally very, very, like, almost white blonde. That becomes important, because this is called the Peppy Blonde. So, the Peppy Blonde is always there to encourage. The Peppy Blonde always brings a smile. The Peppy Blonde always reminds everyone what they're worth. She's always purely confident. The Peppy Blonde is always perfectly put together. You can rely on her. She's the Peppy Blonde. The Peppy Blonde wishes, never mind. No, what is it? You see, truth is, the Peppy Blonde encourages because she gets no encouragement. The Peppy Blonde always hides behind that smile. The Peppy Blonde has no clue what she's worth, no confidence. The Peppy Blonde is broken beyond belief. She wishes they'd see the hurt. The Peppy Blonde has been controlled beyond words. The Peppy Blonde has a hell of a lot to handle. She fears being open, fears love. The Peppy Blonde gets easily attached in spite of herself. The Peppy Blonde hates being honest with herself. The Peppy Blonde has been left too many times to count. The Peppy Blonde builds her wall higher and higher daily. The Peppy Blonde is ready to leave. And honestly, whether that's her situation or her life, she doesn't even care. So that's that. So this next piece kind of still explores that like identity and what they see versus who you are, but in a much more lighthearted way, I guess, as lighthearted as something like that can be. So this is hybridization. Cohen states monsters are hybrids. What am I but a hybrid? I'm neither this nor that. I belong neither here nor there. Am I a monster? Will I be told as one? I feel as though I'm a flag being batted back and forth in the wind. I feel as though I'm a garment being worn for an occasion then given away. I feel as though I'm a lost hero, questless, not as the tale's monster. Is it my fault I'm a hybrid? Is it my fault I'm unclaimed? Is it my fault I'm passed around? I'm a creation of those loving and neglecting me. I'm a creation of unwantedness. I am but a hybrid. So, identity is kind of super hard. Like I said, I'm telling a story here, so I promise it'll get not sad. I promise. But identity is admittedly hard for anyone to kind of come to terms with and discover. But where I grew up, the identity I was finding, I was always getting told was wrong because I didn't have a great dad growing up. I do now, bless him. But growing up, I didn't. And so every time I found an identity, I was kind of told it was wrong and they wanted to remake me into what they wanted. So this is son, and this kind of talks about that. So son. I'm sorry you wanted a son. I'm sorry you wanted someone naturally athletic who picked up new activities, not someone who would talk your ear off about makeup and clothes and future weddings. I'm sorry you wanted a son. I'm sorry you wanted to spend your Saturdays at a sports event, not a poetry or theater event. I'm sorry you wanted a son. I'm sorry you wanted to spend your money on cleats and punching dummies and karate gis, not high heels or purses and princess dresses. I'm sorry you wanted a son. I'm sorry you wanted someone to play catch with in the yard, not someone playing the same recital piece for you again as the day ticked away. I'm sorry you wanted a son. I thought for a while I could be more like a son, take an interest in all the boy jobs, pretend modeling was boring and I didn't want to one day hear Tyra say my name as her next top model. And those things are great and work for some girls, but not for me. That just wasn't me. I'm sorry I couldn't be a son. I'm sorry you wanted a son, because at the end of the day, I can't say I'm perfect, but I'm pretty darn cool. I'm sorry you wanted a son, because I think if, for 1 second, you forgot how bad you wanted a son, you would see how okay you are with having a daughter. So that's fun. Eventually, though, obviously, you have to, heal and move on, or you'll get stuck in that forever. For me, that started with realizing how many people were kind of using me and stabbing me in the back with the knife that I kept cleaning and giving back to them. I did write a piece about that too, which I won't read for time because it is kind of long. But it is in my book. It is one of my favorites to do. But it made me mad. It made me really freaking angry at everybody. So realizing all I had done for them and assigning the blame made me mad. So here is my sincerest heartfelt apologies, part 1. They say healing comes in phases. They told me clearing my conscience may clear my mind. It's been long enough. I've reflected enough. So let me try to apologize. I'm sorry I hid your wrongs, and now I'm crazy for leaving. I'm sorry I would have given it all to love you, and you cared so little you gave us away. I'm sorry you talked to her, and I'm sorry I didn't tell them. I'm sorry I cry so hard I can't sleep, and you sleep peacefully with her on my side of the bed. I'm sorry you were my end game, and I was your game to end when the levels got too hard. And I'm sorry, most of all, that I'm even spending time on this, and you couldn't even spare the time when I was yours. This next piece is Hero. So, Hero. At 4, I needed a superhero with big, strong arms to help save Barbie. At 5, I needed someone to save me from the dragon's lair. At 8, I needed someone to teach me times tables and fractions. At 13, I needed someone to show me how a man should treat me. At 16, I needed someone with ice cream and jokes after my first heartbreak. And at 18, I needed someone to help me pack boxes to move into college. At 4, there was no superhero. At 5, there was no redemption from the dragon. At 8, I taught myself. At 13, I saw violence. At 16, I cried myself to sleep. And at 18, I packed boxes alone. Why was nothing right? You left. You abandoned me. You brought me pain. You never cared for me. You brought home anger. You were gone. You quit. You didn't care, but I did. I collected me. I took care of my business. I am my own hero. So, obviously at some point though, that anger has to disintegrate into actual healing, or else you just spend time being mad at everybody like I did for a few years. So for me, that came with when I went to college at 18, and then I wrote this piece 3 days before my 20th birthday last year, so this would have been last July. And this is Ashes. When I was young, people assumed I lived in a carefree world, playground days filled with childlike wonder. When I was young, people assumed I knew nothing. Reality presented a different case. I'd go home to a war. Words slicing like swords, items flying like bullets, doors slamming like thunder, tears falling like rain. Sadness flooding my mind, causing any youthful innocence to float away. But I was young, so people assumed I knew nothing. Cold, icy bitterness came and froze away any sadness. My mind sat as a desolate wasteland, impossible to inhabit. Occasionally, anger worked its fiery way through, causing more tearful floods, which allowed fear to drift in. But I was young, so people assumed I knew nothing. But then some special people came in. These individuals braved the weather. They showed me I lived somewhere unfit for inhabitants. Although I was young, they knew I knew some things. The sudden unfitness of my land now made known to me, I set it all on fire. Here's the thing about fires. Some good things are lost, but some things won't go away unless they're burned. And fires allow for the soil to be stronger and for better things to grow. I'm standing in the ashes of who I used to be. At first, I found the negative connotations of that phrase intimidating. Now I realize it is but a phrase. Those words are merely words. Their connotation is dependent upon my meaning. And who I used to be needed to be burned. I used to stand in a land of hatred, self-denial, and boarded up windows. I now stand in a land of forgiveness, self-acceptance, and open doors. I have completely redone myself. But I am young, so people still assume I know nothing. So this is my Sincerest Heartfelt Apologies, Part 2. All this hatred, all this bitterness, I wanted you to say sorry to me, but maybe I should say sorry to you. I could be sarcastic and witty, apologize that I let you hurt me, but that's not the angle I want to take anymore. I've already taken that angle to no avail. So I'm sorry for all the evil thoughts I had about you, even long after you hurt me. I'm sorry for holding on to this so long, trapping us both in this painful spiral. I'm sorry for all the time I never let it go. I am sorry, really. I let it go. I let you go. This next bit is my favorite part. So, humans do this wonderful thing where once things are bad long enough, we kind of convince ourselves that good is never coming. And once one person has used us, that must mean they're all evil and they're all going to use us. And so, I wrote a piece about it. This is called I Won't Jinx It. I won't jinx it. Maybe I won't admit it. I'll admit by harming me, he armed me. I'll admit I hated her at first. I'll admit I've struggled. I'll admit I am far from perfect. Maybe I won't admit it. I'll admit you're nice, I'll admit you're funny, I'll admit I enjoy your presence, and I'll even admit you're cute. But I won't admit it. I won't admit I notice the sparkle in your eye. I won't admit I hear your voice on repeat. I won't admit your smile pulled in my heart, and I won't admit my heart dances with your laugh. I won't jinx it. Admitting my love, my passion, my care, my devotion, I won't jinx it. Everyone I love runs. I give unrequited passion. No one cares for me as I do them. No one is as devoted as me. I won't admit it. I won't jinx it. Things won't change. You'll still stay. You'll be someone else's, but you'll be in my life. I won't admit it. I won't jinx it. But hey, what are you doing Thursday? As someone feels though they start to take risks, so for me that leaves me saying I wrote that piece May 4th, started dating said cute boy on May 8th, and now he's kind of videoing my first feature, my best friend, and my biggest cheerleader. So this next piece is called 16 because honestly at the end of the day, who knew one risk at 16 would pay off so well? So this is 16. I've loved you since I was 16. I didn't call it the dangerous L word because I was too young to fall in love and I had been hurt, but it was love. Your name was my favorite word. My name was safe in your mouth. There was a lot going on in my head, but you made it easier to manage it all with a smile. My world was a complex mess, but around you it was clean. It was simple. Your presence enveloped me in safety. Your optimism provided a light to my darkest corners. I knew it could be youthful stupidity, so I tried not to love you. But my feelings, well, they were inescapable, illogical, powerful. I only wanted you more. Even when I officially called myself yours, I also cautiously used that dangerous L word. We were too young, and I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to jinx it, but I wanted it to be you. It wasn't long, though, until I just had to tell everyone all about the one I loved, because despite my youth, I knew you were everything. Sugar sweet 16, inexperienced in love, a novice at life, full of the untamable passion of youth, walking out on love's unsteady tightrope, full of zealous passion, terrified of love's explosiveness becoming volatile, all precaution around the dangerous L word, now thrown into the wind. Young love is intense, but it's filled with wondrous hope, beautiful idealism for the future. And that's what I saw when I looked at you. I loved all your flaws, sins, and scars. We picnicked under the light of countless stars, you pulling me closer to your heart. Change wasn't enough to ruin anything. Distance couldn't keep my heart from yours. The distance presented a new barrier, sure, but it was just another way to make seeing each other sweeter. The love and trust we built, it kept us close no matter how far. Never once did the distance make me lose faith. All the vipers dressed as prophets, claiming to read the stars, swearing they were helping as they screamed, "Oh, you're too young to fall in love, you're doomed," tried to do what the distance couldn't, but we'd never allow it. We would change their so-called prophecy. Every love song was about you, every fear was expressed by you, every tear was caught by you, every shooting star held my wish we'd be forever. We were young and dumb. Novice mistakes were made, things that may have proved those youthful stupidity fears that may have doomed us to their prophecy of destruction. But I knew learning, forgiving, and moving on with you was better than moving on from you. There was so much to learn about the world, but the storms were worth braving with you. We stand now at the top of our fortress overlooking the world. We stare across the horizon, admiring the memories, legacies, and impacts we've created. We built all of this together. We have the greatest love of all. We wished upon every star, and we found our destiny. The stars always held our fate. Not one of being eternally doomed, but one of tender, loving happiness evermore. I never understood how someone could spend forever with only one person and love them more than on day one. But now it's clear to see. I've loved you since I was 16, but I don't love you like 16. No, I love you more than 16. Overall, life's too short and beautiful to take it too seriously, so I have a limerick about a time-traveling toaster I wrote in English club. Because where else am I ever going to read it? So this is the tale of the toaster. Running through the times, flying through the lines, anywhere I want to go can be exhausting, so I'll be home on a dime. So I've got two super teeny tiny, not even 10-line short ones left, but real quick, I wanted to say, I started my website last March, so 2024. And I've just grown so much since then, whether it's writing, whether it's putting out an audio drama production, whether it's presenting. And so Bailey, Miss Kathy, thank y'all for creating this environment, and everyone else, thank y'all for always for doing the rest of the work to make this a beautiful environment and being so supportive and fostering all the growth. Yeah, it's just been great, and I really appreciate this environment and this being a feature. So 2 super short pieces, and then I promise I'm done, and I can't wait to hear what you all have. This is This Little Life. I think I love this little life, a phrase I never thought I'd say about my everyday, but here lately I see that phrase has become the story of me. These people, this life, these songs, this adventure, even these hardships, I love this little life. So that's that. And very finally, a piece on legacy, because I think about mine a lot, and if I'm trying to tell a life story here, that's probably a good place to end. This is Smile or Scar. When I die, will the horrors go too? When I die, will my impact live on? Will someone smile at my name, or will they scowl at the thought? Will the love live on, or will the monsters dominate? Will the gifts give forever, or will the monster's scars last? Did I leave a sparkle in the dark, or a wine stain on a new dress? I've got bookmarks and pens, and then there's that raffle, and then I've got books for sales back there too. But even if you don't want to spend money, there's bookmarks and pens. So yeah.
Alyssa, before you go, Alyssa, didn't you just win some kind of awards at school or something?
Yeah. So with our media department, I got. So with the media department only, I got the Speech and Theater Award because I did this festival with the school. I have 4 different exec chairs in our media department, and I wrote and directed that audio drama. So I got some stuff for that, and then it was the English, foreign languages, media, social sciences, art, and something else that I can't remember. Out of all those departments, 2 people got a Dean's Award, and music, that was the other one. I got the Dean's Award. So
Yeah, go. All right, well, thank you so much, Alyssa.